What is up, everybody? Back with another top 10 here today, and with this one, it's going to be my 10 favorite sophomore thrash metal albums. So my favorite second full-length studio albums from thrash bands. And with this, I found that it was very tough to put together because a lot of bands just got better with their second album. So a lot of great material to go through with this and pick from. I think 8 of these I do prefer over the band's debut album that I'm going to talk about here. So no sophomore slump for the most part with classic thrash bands, in my opinion. But I'm going to jump straight into it here with my number 10, which is Frolic Through the Park by Death Angel. Great, great classic stuff. I mean, I love Death Angel. Each of their first 3 albums are classics. I like a lot of the more modern stuff, but this one is actually my favorite album by them, and it's kind of weird to me because I've seen that a couple of the guys in the group that were on the album don't really love it all that much, which I think is crazy because a lot of great classic stuff on here. Third Floor, Bored, which was included on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, the Leatherface one from 1990, was in the soundtrack, which that movie isn't that great, but I mean, it's an entertaining movie, but the soundtrack is really good. A lot of great classic thrash is on that soundtrack, so go check that out. But Bored, great song, as I said. Road Mutants is fantastic. Guilty of Innocence, one of my favorites, maybe my favorite song on here, and Mind Rape is really good. Shores of Sin, really, top to bottom, it's classic. I love Mark Osegueda's vocals, easily one of the best in thrash. Rob Cavestany on the guitar, freaking kills it on here. Love his tone, his riffs, his solos are all really good, so great album. My number 10, Frolic Through the Park, Death Angel. Number 9, I'm going to go with Victims of Deception by Heathen. So really great classic technical thrash here. Lee Altus, of course, this is his first band he was in. He's the guy that joined Exodus in about 2005, so he's been the second guitar player for them for a while, and, you know, he's amazing. My hair is sticking through really weird right here, but let's get this. Yeah, so, yeah, Lee Altus, a great player. This album, really cool. If you like late 80s Metallica, Overkill, that type of stuff, you should like this. It's a bit more on the technical side, but a lot of great songs, good clean vocals. Looking at these songs, I'd probably go with Hypnotize and Opiate the Masses as being my favorites. Love the drum sound on this album, but really good top to bottom, so go check it out. And speaking of Metallica, next up for me at number 8 is going to be Ride the Lightning. You know, it's kind of a misconception that I just hate Metallica or something, which is false. I do obviously like Megadeath better, but still really like the first 4 Metallica albums, like even some stuff mixed in here and there after that. But first 2 Metallica albums are absolute classics, great, amazing stuff. You know, they were hungry at the time, fast, aggressive, raw, great riffs, great tone, good production on here. Fight Fire with Fire, Ride the Lightning, and probably For Whom the Bell Tolls are my favorites, but a lot of classics top to bottom. Love that instrumental at the end, The Call of Cthulhu. Fade to Black, of course. Could just list all these songs. Escape is probably the least known song on the album. I mean, everybody knows it still, but good song. I mean, some people shit on that one, but I think it's a pretty good song. But great album. Ride the Lightning, my number 8. Where are we at here? Number 7, I'm going to go with Taking Over by Overkill. Amazing stuff, big step up from their debut album in my opinion. I love Bobby Gustafson's guitar playing. Look at that, I love this album cover, so cool with the guns there, they're just looking like beasts. But of course, Dee Dee Verney, great tone on the bass. They always have a super unique sound, largely due to his bass tone. The way they mix it sounds really cool. Of course, Bobby Blitz on the vocals, just his shrieking, aggressive screams on here. Super great. And the drummer on this album, I wrote it down, I'm trying not to look, trying to remember here. It was not Sid Falk at this point, it was Rat Skates was the guy they had on the drums. But a lot of great stuff here. Deny the Cross to open it up is fantastic. Wrecking Crew, Power Surge has always been one of my favorites. But top to bottom, love most of this. Fantastic classic thrash right here. Taking Over, Overkill from 1987. My number 7. Number 6, I'm going to go with, Hell Awaits at number 6, making sure I had that the right order. But, again, just amazing classic album. Everybody's heard everything you're going to hear somebody say about this. It's super evil. It's Slayer, of course. Fast, aggressive, the fastest, you know, the most extreme album on this list for sure. But, looking at these songs, a lot of great stuff. I'd probably go with Praise of Death and Necrophiliac as being my favorites. The drumming from Dave Lombardo is top tier. The guitar playing is great from Carrie and Jeff. And of course, Tom Araya on vocals and bass is really good. Number 5 is the one that's kind of more on the obscure side. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know it by now, but I've talked about this band and album in the past. Going to go with the album Heresy by Paradox. Really, really awesome. Classic German thrash band that should have been a lot bigger. You got Charlie Steinhauer on vocals with a really cool, unique voice and rhythm guitar. Dude's a freaking riff machine. All over, great riffs, super technical guitar playing from the other guy too. Didn't write his name down that played lead on this, but amazing lead work on here. The drumming is fantastic. The production's really good. I would kind of compare it to like Heathen, maybe a bit more aggressive, and I just like Paradox a lot better than Heathen, but same kind of style, technical classic thrash, and there's differing sources on this one. One said it came out in 1980 or 89, one says 1990. Either way, great stuff. And looking at these songs, I would recommend, if you haven't heard it, go check out the title track, Kill Time and Crusader's Revenge. Just amazing stuff. And they did actually just put out a new album a couple weeks back. It's called Heresy 2, The End of a Legend. So, sequel to the Heresy album. It's really good. Check out the new one. Check out this original classic. Just a lot of awesome stuff from Paradox. My number 4, I'm going to go with Night of the Storm Rider by Ice to Earth. Now, at this point, I think they were thrashy enough to include on a list like this. Of course, they mix in elements of US power metal and other stuff, but they are thrashy as well, especially at this point, and just amazing album. John Schaefer is just a riff machine. I've said in the past, I think he is one of the best, if not the very best rhythm guitar player in all of metal. Just absolute riff machine, as I said. And John Greeley on the lead vocals here. It was their only album with him. I think he's pretty good. And a lot of these songs are like, or they were like live staples for the band. A lot of them were played on the Live in Athens live album from 1999. Got Traveling Stygian, Pure Evil, Storm Rider, some of my favorites. Just amazing album. Night of the Storm Rider by Ice to Earth. Number 3, I'm going to go with No Place for Disgrace by Flotsam and Jetsam. Great, great classic stuff here. This band should have been a lot bigger. It's kind of a shame sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes people kind of only know this band, or the main reason they know of them is like it was Jason Newsted's first band, the band he was in before Metallica. But they've got a lot of really great stuff. They got like 13 albums or whatever it is. They just put out a new one this year, which is fantastic. But this is their absolute best, in my opinion. Just freaking stone cold classic stuff. Eric A.K.'s vocals are insane. If you listen to like I Live You Die, the high screams he hits in that will give you freaking goosebumps. Just amazing stuff. The guitar work from Ed Carlson and Michael Gilbert is top tier. The title track, as I said, I Live You Die. And probably looking at this, I'd go with Escape from Within as my 3 favorites from the album, but top to bottom, just amazing. And my number 2, I'm going to go with Never Neverland by Annihilator, my very favorite Canadian thrash band, and my very favorite band from Canada, just no matter what we're talking about. But Jeff Waters on guitar is so good. If somebody was trying to argue with me that he was the best guitar player in metal, I really couldn't argue against it, because his precision, his speed, his accuracy, his tone, his riffs, everything about his playing is so good. Just mind-blowing, face-melting shred. He's, I would say, the best shredder in metal. And looking at these songs, The Fun Palace is just amazing. Imperiled Eyes, when it gets to that riff, is so good. Phantasmagoria is amazing. And Coburn Farr is the vocalist on this album. It was their only album with him. I mean, he's not like an amazing singer or anything. He's not going to just blow you away with his just amazing vocal talent, but he's good enough, and it really doesn't matter who's singing as long as Jeff is there. He is that good of a guitar player, and that might have been the problem with Annihilator, you know, why they didn't get bigger, because they had a different singer on each of the first 4 albums. I imagine people aren't really crazy about that many like vocal changes and stuff, but for me, I don't really mind. As I said, as long as Jeff is there, top tier. Great, great stuff. So, number 2, Never Neverland. And my number 1, could you guess it? I'm sure anybody that's seen my channel knows it's going to be Megadeth, Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? Got a super cool cassette tape of it. Just absolutely love this album. At the time, was super, super innovative, I think. You know, just the technicality and speed of this album for the times, the musicianship, all top-notch, just insane playing on here from Gar Samuelson on the drums, Chris Poland on co-lead guitar alongside of Dave Mustaine, of course, on lead guitar and vocals, and Dave Ellefson on the bass. just all those guys, they were just clicking on all cylinders. Insane musicianship, as I said. Wake Up Dead to open this up is fantastic. The Conjuring, super dark, evil song. Title track is great. Devil's Island is... All these songs are just freaking amazing. Good Morning Black Friday is my personal favorite. Really love that kind of dark, eerie beginning, you know, great atmosphere, and then it transitions into just a scorching fast thrasher, and there's like enough riffs in that one song. You can make like 5 different songs if you wanted to. Just the riffing is top tier. And let's see, Bad Omen is amazing. I Ain't Superstitious is the cover generally thought of by everybody as like the weakest song on the album, which is true, but it's still really good. And my last words to close it out, which does have one of the very best Dave Mustaine guitar solos of all time. Just incredible stuff, incredible album, one of the best in metal history in my opinion, and the best sophomore thrash album. Peace sells, but who's buying? Real quick, some honorable mentions before I'm done here. I'm going to go with Schizophrenia by Sepultura. Great Brazilian thrash right here. Very heavy, very aggressive. This is in no order, just grabbing what I got. Pleasures of the Flesh by Exodus. Super cool cassette tape I recently picked up. What else here? The New Order, Testament. Another great Bay Area thrash band and album. Now a couple that I don't have that are really good. Or actually, I've got Spreading the Disease by Anthrax up there on the wall. Survive by Nuclear Assault is really good. Sicker Than I Thought by EXE is a really, really good one. That's super underrated, somewhat obscure. Check it out. Super cool album cover. Just love the way that looks. I'll put it up on the screen. Let's see. Indulgence by Nasty Savage. Fantastic. Tick the Mayhem by Whiplash. Finished with Dogs by Holy Moses. Holy Moses, my favorite thrash, or my favorite German thrash band of all time. I already said Schizophrenia. I've got it written down there, though. And, you know, I could just keep going. A lot of bands have great sophomore releases. I'm just thinking, like, Sanctuary, of course, Sodom, Creator. You could just go on and on. Just personal preference, whatever you think's the best. And let me know in the comments what y'all think is the best. Give me your top 10. Let me know what you thought. And until next time, thank you for watching.